I had a whole routine put together about me chasing a partridge. Mm. Now I understand why it was in the pear tree. Let's see. Hello, I'm Pastor Dave Denoon of the First Congregational Church of Webster Groves, Missouri, United Church of Christ. And these are your weekend announcements for Saturday, December 5th, 2020. Sorry for missing you last week, but I'm afraid the Thanksgiving holiday got a little too far out in front of me, as well as preparations for last Sunday, which was the first Sunday of Advent. So you can imagine. Oh, having a little bit of a problem with my machine. There we go. Tomorrow is the second Sunday of Advent, so we'll be lighting the candle of peace on our Advent wreath. Unfortunately, with our restrictions on the number of people allowed in the sanctuary at once, it's the announcer, the seminarians, and I who will be performing the ritual rather than a church family. So I thought about having a family lead the ritual from home, but the Advent wreath ritual, but the idea of depriving the young people of participating using the candle lighter and firing up the candles on our community Advent wreath, well, it seemed kind of harsh. So if you are a church family who would nevertheless like to lead the rituals for the candles of joy and love in Christ, in other words, for the third and fourth Sundays in Advent and for Christmas Eve, please let me know. And we'll include either a live moment or a recorded video of your family at your own Advent wreath. Mine is burning over there, you might see. Anyway, tomorrow is also the first Sunday of a month, so we will be taking a moment in the service for virtual communion. To prepare for this, you might put together a setting of bread and cup so that you can participate at home in the ritual that I'll be leading from the sanctuary. Finally, Sunday, December 6th is also the feast of St. Nicholas of Myra, which makes it, just in case you don't know who he was, the holiday named for the historical figure we've come to call St. Nicholas, St. Nick, Santa Claus. Nicholas was the bishop of Myra in modern-day Turkey. He's the one about whom it is said he had seen the plight of a family who had fallen on hard times, a father with his 3 daughters who were coming of age to marry. And Nicholas secretly provided dowries for each of the 3 by sneaking to the house at night and tossing a bag of gold coins through a window when each of them was about to be married. He was discovered providing the 3rd dowry by the father, who was sworn by Nicholas to secrecy. The saint has come to be symbolized not only by a jolly fellow in a red suit, but by an icon of 3 gold balls, the ones you see in pawn shops, which is definitely a stretch when it comes to legendary and real-world connections. But, you know, everybody wants to put the best face on their business, I guess. You can attend worship in real time tomorrow by connecting with Zoom or YouTube at 10 a.m. The YouTube live stream and an edited version of the service will be available afterward. Next Saturday from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, that's next Saturday, the 12th of December, from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, the east parking lot of the church will be the place to go for our socially distanced Christmas tree trimming. The building staff have installed a tree in the Jubilee Garden, which is ready and waiting to receive decorations you may provide. A recent church email offered designs for ornaments that wildlife might enjoy, as well as a notice that there will be a socially distanced Christmas carol component included in the course of the event. All of this comes on the eve of our annual Hanging of the Green service, which we are rendering even now for next Sunday, with everything except the customary parade of wreaths and candles and such. The Hanging of the Greens will still be a lovely and solemnly joyous occasion, and I encourage you to attend virtually for the sake of keeping a familiar holiday practice. Tracy Harris, our former director of Christian education, reports that she and the entire staff at St. John's United Church of Christ in Manchester have now tested positive for the coronavirus. She has symptoms and is isolating at home. This adds to her work and seminary challenges as Christmas and the end of the semester approach. So please keep her and her co-workers at St. John's in your prayers, and maybe send her a greeting and an encouragement. The balance of my time in this video I would like to spend talking with you about our dear friend and sister Carol McCoy. Carol died this past Tuesday at a skilled care nursing facility near Cape Albion, where she and her husband Bob have been living for the last year or so. Carol suffered a stroke last year, or a little over a year ago, which made the complications of aging that much more difficult for her. And the last few months have been especially trying. All of us have known Carol as a gentle soul who appreciated our community and loved us back with full measures of sincerity and care and concern. Her bright eyes and warm smile were assurances of her gracious spirit. Carol and Bob, like too many of our congregation, were parents of an adult child who died tragically, in their case, in an auto accident when they were living in Indianapolis. They had been part of First Church when their children were young, and the support of this church for them in their grief over their son's death sealed their commitment to return to membership in our faith community when that chapter of their working lives was over. Carol was a discerning spirit. She could state her own beliefs frankly and plainly, but she always seemed more inclined to listen and to offer questions so that she could understand more clearly the person with her. One never doubted where she stood or where you stood with her, because wherever you stood, she was always standing with you, affirming your integrity even if she didn't necessarily agree with you. We all loved her for that, I think. And I, for my part, will miss her very much. Bob has decided to delay holding a memorial service for Carol until we may all be able to gather together with those who want to celebrate her life with him and their family. As we are nearing a time when vaccines for COVID-19 will be generally available, perhaps we'll be able to conduct a memorial service in the springtime. That's all for this week's announcements. I'll hope to see you tomorrow for worship at 10 and for virtual coffee fellowship at 11. Peace be upon you.